A reading from the Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said, "You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist an evildoer. But if anyone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your coat, give your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go also the 2nd mile. Give to everyone who begs from you, and do not refuse anyone who wants to borrow from you." The word of the Lord. Part of what Jesus points to in this story is this idea of God approaching us where we are and knowing that we learn and we grow, and hopefully we get better as time goes on, better able to deal with the complexities of what it is to be a human being in this world. We're able to have more nuanced conversations as we mature and grow wiser. And just like it wouldn't be appropriate to take a little child and heap all of the expectations on expecting them to understand the complexity of this world, we tell them simple stories. We tell them simple stories about there being easy choices between right and wrong, good and evil, how to have justice in this world. And as they grow up and are able to understand a little bit more of the complexity of this world, about how one person isn't always good and evil, one person isn't always right or wrong, and sometimes justice isn't quite so simple as just doing the right thing. God also likewise approaches us as we are maturing and developing. God approached Abraham, right, as we say in the Bible, telling Abraham at first the story of, I'm the best of all of the gods, you should really follow me. And it turning over time into Abraham saying, well, actually, I'm really the only God. But you weren't ready for that yet, but you're ready for it now to hear that actually I'm the only God. In that same way, God approaches us in this story and says, the idea of retribution, the idea of fair retribution is right. You should take 1 eye for 1 eye. You should take 1 tooth for 1 tooth. Because that's just. That's fair. The punishment fits the crime, as it were. Of course, my mind goes to Gandhi's famous phrase, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. But I think the truth in this is, once, as Gandhi observed, once we observe that retribution is in fact not just, and that the punishment fitting the crime actually doesn't heal the world and make it better. Once we've tried that, once we've experienced that and seen that that way of living doesn't work, we're ready. We've grown up a little bit more. We're a little bit more mature than the children that we were before, a little wiser to this world. And as we see the complexity and we start to lean toward this idea of what's the kind of justice that actually restores and heals? Maybe it doesn't work to take somebody who stole from someone and to throw them into jail for a good number of years and thereby say, well, now you've been punished and that made things better. It didn't actually make anything better. It didn't actually heal anything. Restorative justice is more the idea of taking that person who had done some wrong and putting them in a position where they can do community service, make amends, have truth and reconciliation with the person they hurt. Empower them to be a productive, contributing member of society so that they can do the work of trying to heal the harm that they caused in this world. I hope when it comes to justice for my own wrongdoings, that we don't just look at retribution and the punishment fitting the crime, but give me an opportunity to try to heal and make things better, to try to make amends. God approaches us indeed as we are growing and developing, and Jesus in this story sees that we're ready for a new chapter. We're ready to set aside that old idea of retribution, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I gave you that law, but now I'm giving you a new one, the next one that you're ready for. And this new one is to take a careful look at what actually heals wrongdoing, what actually restores justice in this complex world. And Jesus in this story knew it was time. We were ready for it. So let us do that work together. Amen.